So ISIAH Thomas is making a complete fool out of himself. Let's talk about it.
Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
Okay, Ring Culture, welcome back to Ring Culture, where we play no games, we just spit game about the game we love. Before we get into this video, though, I want y'all to go over to my reaction page, the Nuclear Reactor, and check out all my sports reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all different kind of reactions. Go check it out. I got 3 sports reactions over there. As of now, I have an MJ reaction list, and I'm actually going to make a Larry Bird reaction list because I've done 3 of Larry Bird vids so far. But back over here, Ring Culture, make sure y'all like me, subscribe. That's how y'all push me into the algorithm, and then I'll go get them with my content, hit them and fit them and sit with them. Subscribe and hit the bell notification so y'all can be notified for every time I upload, share my videos, and make sure y'all hype my channel. So ISIAH Thomas is clearly mad at Michael Jordan, but let me just make a point before I, disprove the things that he's saying. The truth doesn't depend on the person for his truthfulness. So ISIAH Thomas can be a biased fool and saying things about Michael Jordan out of his bias and the fact that he doesn't like Michael Jordan. But that wouldn't necessarily mean the things that he's saying aren't true. The truthfulness of it could still be true. If an extremely evil person said 2 + 2 = 4, them being an evil person doesn't change the truth of 2 + 2 = 4. Let me just get that out of the way first. But ISIAH Thomas is wrong on top of him hating. So there's a dual thing. He's not just hating and he's right. He's hating and he's wrong. I'm going to let y'all listen to this goofy clip of ISIAH Thomas just spitting gibberish. And I'm going to come back and tell y'all what I think. Check this out.
OG, there's always a debate about the golden era of basketball. Some think it's right now. Others think it was more your era, mid-'80s, early '90s. What's your take on that?
Our era is considered to be the golden era. This is what I don't understand about your era, right? You guys are playing with arguably the greatest player to ever play. And excuse me when I say this, but y'all treat him like he ain't nothing. And I'm talking
wow.
Right? Y'all act like, y'all instead of pubbing y'all era up, y'all go back and say our era was the greatest. Oh, Michael Jordan was the greatest. Nobody could ever be greater than Michael Jordan, right? Okay, and then you turn around, but in your era, LeBron James sitting there, he holding every single basketball record. I mean, every single one of them. And you're looking at a Kevin Durant and you're looking at a Steph Curry, but then when y'all say who the greatest, y'all talk about the guy that gave you some shoes and, gave you some warm-ups.
Fair.
Hey, on this show, for the record, me Boogie, and Lou will all agree that LeBron's the greatest.
No, I'm an MJ person, but Isaiah, I'm 50 years old. Like that's what made me love basketball was Michael Jordan. I'm not just going to change my mind. He could be second.
Second's not bad.
Here's what will make you change your mind on, or at least critically think about,
okay.
Right? And I'm a historian of the game, and I'm not a hater. I'm just when I speak facts, people think it's hate. But you can't in no sports category. When we talk about track, when we talk about tennis, when we talk about football, baseball, the arguably the best players or athletes in those sports, they hold the world records. I know we talk about Jordan, but he leads in no statistical basketball category. But yet we say there's an argument about him being the best. But then when you look at Kareem and you look at LeBron, those guys lead in several statistical categories. But yet we say somebody else is better. And, you know, I'm just giving you like the evidence, right?
I am.
Here's the evidence. And what, 15 years from now, when the next generation come along and they talk about how great LeBron James was and how great Kevin Durant was and Steph Curry was, it won't even be a conversation or a debate. Your generation right now is the only, y'all say we hating on y'all hating on yourself. every time we ask you who your top 10 is, you list 10 guys from the 80s.
This is
You
fair.
don't list none of your guys.
In our defense, not on this show. I think me and Lou will for sure. We get shit on for repping our generation more so than that
I'm just
generation.
saying, I'm not going to put all y'all in that generation
Yeah.
in the top 10, but damn, it's a couple of y'all in the top 10.
Oh, yeah. I totally agree.
But, y'all don't know. We knew what we had in Jordan, right? We gave Jordan his flower. Vito, you 50, so you knew the flowers that we gave Jordan. We were all like, hey, this dude he's a little different than everybody
Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I hear y'all talk about LeBron at 41. Your generation act like, man.
All right, so y'all heard ISIAH Thomas rant. A few things. Number one, a lot of times this generation, not all, look back and trash older generations. He was saying that because he wanted a leeway into taking a shot at Michael Jordan. Granted, in the interview, he said we gave Michael Jordan his flowers. We knew he was a little bit different. They try to smooth over the fact that he was hating. Saying Michael Jordan is not number one in any statistical category is insane. Michael Jordan has the highest scoring average in NBA history. He has the highest playoff scoring average in NBA history. He has the second highest scoring average in the finals, but number one, I think, with a minimum of 2 series. So saying that he's not number one in any category is crazy. He has the most scoring titles. He led the league in still 3 times. That's not the most. I think Chris Paul has that record. Michael Jordan was number one in almost every statistical category. But 2 years ago, I think Joker passed him in a lot of them. I think he still has the highest game score in NBA history in a regular season. Michael Jordan is also the only player to do absurd things. Like, he's the only player to sweep the season's awards. That means MVP, All-Star MVP, and Finals MVP in the same season. He did it like 3 or 4 times, or something like that. Michael Jordan is the only player to win Defensive Player of the Year and MVP in the same season while averaging over 30 points. He averaged 35 points that year. Michael Jordan, I think he has the record for the most combined first team in All-NBA and first team defenses combined. Michael Jordan is the first player to record over 200 steals and over 100 blocks in a season. And the only other 2 players that did it was Olajuwon and Pippen. Michael Jordan is the only player that did it twice. Michael Jordan is the only player to win every major award in the NBA, while going undefeated in championship play his entire career. Yes. Michael Jordan is the only player to do a hell of a lot of things. He's tied for the most first team defensive selections with 9. I think he's tied with Kobe Bryant and Kevin Garnett. And who knows, by the time Joker retires, he might drop under Michael Jordan in some of them analytic categories, because Michael Jordan literally was number one in most analytic categories until about 2 years ago. So ISIAH Thomas is lying. And he's saying that they're trying to give it to a guy that gave him shoes, and he's making a case for LeBron James to say that Michael Jordan is not number one any statistical category, which I just showed you he is, LeBron James is number one in points, all-time points. What? He doesn't hold every statistical record, but he does own a couple of other statistical records. So LeBron James has the most turnovers in NBA history. I think in the playoffs as well. LeBron missed the most shots in NBA history. He missed the second most shots in the finals. LeBron has lost 33 finals games, which is tied for number one with, I think, Jerry West. So he's number one in some stuff. LeBron James, I think he had, if I'm not mistaken, and LeBron James lost the most playoff games in NBA history. So he's number one in a lot of stuff, but they're bad things. So to say that LeBron James holds every basketball record, that's just a lie. And he says this with a straight face because for some strange reason, he can't get over the fact that Michael Jordan said that he hated him. And I think they said Michael Jordan rep sent him an apology and he won't forgive Jordan until since he said it publicly, apologized publicly. Michael Jordan might apologize, he might not. I'm not into telling anybody what they should do, but Isaiah Thomas is starting to sound like a scorned, like, ex-lover or something. Like someone that's been dumped or cheated on and they just can't get over it, so all they do is trash their ex constantly. That's what he's starting to sound like. Like saying that this generation props up the golden era of basketball. I mean, these guys are running around saying that the golden era of basketball, a lot of them guys are plumbers. Remember J.J. Redick? And then he's saying that this era treats Michael Jordan like he ain't. He's saying this era treats LeBron James like he's not nothing. The mainstream media, all they do is fluff LeBron up. They ignore him barely playing defense and getting back on defense. They ignore him barely not getting back on offense sometimes, holding the ball, stagnating the offense. They ignore all the insane, nonsensical turnovers he makes. They insane all the chokes and clutch moments. And then now, at his age, and all they can do whenever he does something that might be perceived as good or great, he's 41. He's 41 doing this at this age. But when he does all the other stuff that I said, he's 41. You can't expect him to do those things. Isaiah Thomas is crazy. The media, the mainstream sports media, all they do is kiss LeBron's feet. Like 99% of the time. They'll find a way to talk about the team LeBron's on so they can talk about LeBron. Even last year, Kendrick Perkins or Jefferson, one of the two, was still saying that LeBron needed more help. What? They ignore the fact that the Lakers looked like world beaters, but when LeBron came back, they started losing more, and they was getting blown out some of the games. LeBron James is like a minus, what is he this year? Minus what, 20? He's a minus something this year. He was a minus last year and the year before that. When LeBron gets back on the team suffers. What is Isaiah Thomas talking about? Saying that he's a historian in the game doesn't mean what you're saying is true. Y'all, just because someone played in the NBA don't mean that they don't say crazy shit. Remember Scottie Pippen said LeBron James won a championship with nobody? What championship did he win with nobody? Kyrie, Love was hurt one of the years, but he was back when he won a championship. What are you talking about? Kyrie Irving was lighting Steph Curry up in 2016. Granted, at the game like 4, LeBron, something switched on. He played better. That's the only time I ever seen a hunger in LeBron to win was that 2016 series midway through the season. His next championship, Bosh, who was the face of Toronto and number one guys. Oh, before I go on, Kyrie was the number one on Cleveland, and Kevin Love was the number one on Timberwolves the year before they joined with LeBron. And Kevin Love was the best power forward in the league that year. He was putting up video game numbers. Then Dwayne Wade, who was already a champ, a scoring champ and a Finals MVP, and Chris Bosh, a top 10, top 11 player in the league, the face of the franchise of the Toronto Raptors. Then he got AD, who was the best power forward in the league the year before he played with LeBron. Are you sensing the pattern here? Then he got Westbrook, who had just came off of 4 years out of 5 years averaging a triple-double. 3 of those years was straight. And LeBron destroyed him. When he left LeBron, he looked like Westbrook of old. And all these players I just named were in their prime when they played with LeBron. There are some players who were just out of their prime when they played with LeBron, like Ray Allen was just out of his prime. Rajon Rondo, Carmelo Anthony, those guys. But the notion that LeBron won any championship with nobody is insane. Granted, he never won a championship with Westbrook. He just destroyed Westbrook's career. He sat by while the media scapegoated Westbrook to make LeBron look better. When LeBron was averaging just as many turnovers as Westbrook. When LeBron was awful in the clutch. And LeBron is terrible. We just watched LeBron choke against the Bucks. Yeah, he had 13 points in the fourth quarter, but that's not the only measure of clutch. Because when you get down to the last 2 minutes of the game, your clutch gene has to raise when you're in a close game. When you start the fourth quarter and you're scoring, you might not choke that much, albeit LeBron does choke in fourth quarters a lot. But in the last 2 minutes, LeBron got a shot blocked by Giannis and the ball stolen. This is the GOAT, though. This is the guy that makes the right play all the time. Come on, man. ISIAH Thomas is making a fool out of himself. He doesn't realize he's making a fool out of himself. And what he's saying about LeBron is falling on deaf ears to anybody that knows basketball. There was never a case for LeBron James to be the GOAT. And when he went to Miami, it was pretty much over. But he did go to Miami and showed us all exactly what we thought about LeBron by the time he went to Miami. He's a choker. You remember he quit against Boston and then got when he was with the Cavs and then got in the off season and then ran, taking his talent to South Beach. LeBron James, and then I want to hear this. They had 3 superstars and they beat LeBron. Kobe Bryant beat that team. Then he lost by a record. Something else he's number one in. He lost 2 final series by the 2 largest margins of defeat in NBA history. And one of those teams was an old Spurs team. They was losing, but they lost to them by 14 points a game. LeBron James is a fraud. He's a fraud. ISIAH Thomas, I don't know if he knows it or not, that he's so blinded by his rage of Jordan that he might not even be paying attention. But I actually think he does know it. And Jordan hasn't said a word about ISIAH Thomas publicly. You know, like, it's weird to me. Like, he could do whatever he wants. But if it was me and people asked me, they didn't even ask him about, they asked him about errors in the GOAT debate, but they really was asking him about errors. He had to talk about Michael Jordan. That's like obsession. It's insane. But y'all let me know what y'all think about what ISIAH Thomas said down below. And always remember, we are ring culture, because the whole point of the culture is to win rings for the culture. I love y'all. Peace.